Hey everybody, I'm Dave Sikorsky out here at Anglers with the Snakehead Kickoff, and we're having some fun cooking snakeheads, talking, sharing, and we've been grilling it. We've all doing all sorts of good stuff. So, Andrew, who's making some of the fish, pulling some out of the fryer right now, made chicharrones, and I had to get Junior to talk about it and try it. So he's got one. Tell us about what you think about it. You're gonna do that in Spanish, right?
Ya, por supuesto. Hey, pues tengo que decir que, wow, yo me quedé impresionado. Él fue para mí hasta allá, solo para probar esto. O sea, es skin with a little bit of meat, basically, chicharrones. Piel de pescado con un poco de carne, chicharrones llamados. Y I was like, estaba demasiado. I mean, esto es delicioso. Creo que no es la. ¿De what?
What's the name of that?
Oh, chicharrones. Chicharrones Junior is the name now. He called me like that. Ya, estaba delicioso. Los invito a que sigan a él. Él tiene mucha experiencia en cómo cocinar esta snakehead y sacar prácticamente cualquier parte del cuerpo de cómo sacar el snakehead. La mejor manera de sacar cualquier parte del snakehead y aprovecharla. This is the guy.
Okay. So what we're talking about is all the different parts of the snakehead that can be used. Obviously, you see the head here. Here's a chunk of meat that has a wound channel in it, and so that's part of what you have to think about. As soon as you kill that and you have the blood into that meat, there's bacteria that starts growing, and it continues to grow through the meat. So when you're cooking a fish, you can cook this and eat it, but cut around it as well. But also take care with when you're killing the fish to not do this around the tissue, because the most meat you can eat, it's the most effort and time and money you put into it, it's the most you're taking home to feed yourself, share with your friends and family. Andrew will come over here and tell us about the head he's taken apart and how he's broken down this fish so far. We've got some fried snakehead there too, right?
Yep, that's right. So this is the fried loin. It's cooked medium rare. I'm sorry, cooked medium. We had some medium rare earlier. So this is maybe an opportunity to examine the inside of a fish. And so as David was mentioning, this is the wound channel from the bow fishing arrow. And you can see actually this was one side here that went like this. So we want to be careful about how you prepare this. So this needs to be cooked very thoroughly if you're going to eat it, because there is a bacterial risk here. We also remove the head. And when you remove the head, you want to make sure that you're behind the first swim fin and then preserving this part of the throat, because this piece right here on most fish is called a collar. This is one of the most luxury cuts of any fish. This part right here is cartilaginous and it's got a lot of collagen in it. And so it imparts this very buttery and sort of rich quality to the meat. So this tends to be discarded like this. So this whole thing will be thrown away. But I'm holding this thing and there's quite a bit of heft to it, and that heft is not just bone, it's actually a great deal of edible muscle tissue that in many countries, especially Asian countries, are the Primo Cuts. So the Primo Cut, for example, right here is I just explained the collar. There's also this cheek meat right here, which is very significant on a snakehead. It begins right at the back of the eye, goes all the way up to the top of the head, and scoops down right here towards the bottom of the preopercular line. So this is a very, very large piece, and you can actually see where it was taken out on an earlier fish. This whole part is actually a very, very large, very, very valuable piece of meat that shouldn't be summarily discarded as it typically is. There's also parts of the top loin that are lost in the head here that are also edible. So we'll show you how to prepare that and make sure that you're not only not wasting, but also seizing the opportunity to eat at the highest level. If you just have just a general understanding of what's going on with the anatomy of the fish, and then what's possible when you harvest your own fish and can do it at home.
All right, so we're going to continue to cook some stuff here. So, Andrew, do you want to, are you going to separate the head from the collar there, or is that going to be used?
I can. I'm going to need a second to just wipe this down because this thing is sliding.
All right.
So that's another important thing to think about. the outside of the fish, the scales, the slime, all that has bacteria in it. And when that connects with your tissue, you're cross-contaminating. You have to really keep a clean surface. You want to clean your fish, break down the slime, remove the scales, wash them off thoroughly. Do it outside if you want to stay married, if you're married. Keep whoever you might live with happy. And then bring it in and really take care to clean your surfaces and remove those bacteria, because if you're going to cook it thoroughly, sure, you're going to cook the bacteria out, but why not be careful every step of the way? And that way you can utilize every piece of the fish.
Yeah, and one little tip for how you can manage some of the slime on things like snakehead, blue catfish, is to use salt. So salt will actually start to evaporate and dehydrate a lot of the slime. It'll also tighten up the skin so that the slime doesn't come out as easily. So you can just add a little bit of sea salt like this right onto your cutting surface, but also to the cut itself. And so what this will, if you just give it a second, this will actually start to kind of pull the slime away from the fish and also dry it out. That'll give your cutting board an opportunity to be a little bit drier, not as slimy and slippery, and actually a little safer to use.
And one more thing we have coming up for a future video is a whole snakehead on the video here. On the grill. So this is covered in salt. This has a sugar cane down through it. And it's sitting on the one side right now. We're going to flip it over and char the other side. You'll see it later when it comes out. The crowd gets to try it. So there's lots of different ways to break down these fish. As you all know, they're invasive. So get out there, eat them. There's no rules on them. Tons of great stuff out here today if you're checking it out. If you're not out here today, can't make it Saturday, come on out Sunday. Great deals in the store. Tons of great local tackle and food and beer. And we'll be out here grilling tomorrow as well. So come on out.